Returning to Formula One in 2010 as a works team, Mercedes have become one of the most successful teams in recent history. They've won 7 Drivers' Championships and taken home the Constructors' Championship in each of the last 8 seasons. Prior to that, Mercedes were the engine supplier for the Brackley-based 2009 Constructors' Champions Brawn GP. This was their way back into Formula One as their parent company Daimler purchased a stake in the team for the 2010 season. The team was then rebranded to Mercedes and have raced under the world-famous German marque ever since, creating history along the way. Red Bull made their constructors' debut in Formula One in 2005. Since then, they've become incredibly successful. They've won 4 Constructors' Championships and 5 Drivers' Championships, with their most recent Drivers' Championship coming after a fierce, season-long battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton during the 2021 season. Perhaps the most famous Formula One racing team of them all, Scuderia Ferrari, have been competing in the sport since the birth of the Formula One World Championship in 1950. As well as having participated in every World Championship season, they're also the most decorated, with more wins and world titles than any other team in the history of the sport. Founded by Enzo Ferrari in 1929, Scuderia Ferrari originally supported Alfa Romeo before, starting from 1947, forging their own identity as the racing team and road car manufacturer we know today. 9 of the world's most famous and recognisable drivers have competed and become champions with Ferrari, including Niki Lauda in the 70s and Michael Schumacher in the 90s and early 2000s. Synonymous with the sport, McLaren have been heavily involved in Formula One since their debut in 1966 at Monaco. In this time, they've had incredible success, bringing home 8 Constructors' Championships and 12 Drivers' Championships, making them the second most successful team of all time. For many, 1988 was probably the most memorable season for McLaren, where the team won 15 out of 16 races with drivers Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. The team absolutely dominated the year, and to this day, McLaren still holds the record for the highest percentage of wins in a single season. They've had many of the world's most highly regarded drivers racing for them, including Senna and Prost, Mika Hakkinen and Lewis Hamilton, who won the Drivers' Championship during the 2008 season. Renault F1 team rebranded to Alpine in 2021 to promote Renault's Alpine sports car brand. They've been part of Formula One for more than 40 years, starting as a constructor in 1977. As well as having their own team, Renault has acted as engine supplier for various partners over the years, where they've shared in many successes, including an incredible run in the 1990s with Williams and 4 back-to-back titles with Red Bull from 2010 to 2013. Renault won both the Constructors' and Drivers' Championships in 2005 and 2006. The Red Bull-owned AlphaTauri team was originally formed in 2006 under the name Scuderia Toro Rosso, with the intention of helping Red Bull's junior drivers, giving them a potential path into the parent team, Red Bull Racing. This allowed the Red Bull team to have 4 drivers racing during the same season. Since 2010, they've worked independently, with their own car being designed and built in Faenza, Italy. In 2020, the team achieved only their second win at Monza courtesy of Pierre Gasly, with their first win and only pole position coming again from the 2008 Italian Grand Prix in Monza, with young superstar Sebastian Vettel in the driving After more than 60 years away from Formula One, Aston Martin returned to Grand Prix racing in 2021. With one of the most iconic emblems in the world emblazoned above the garages and a team of over 450 passionate men and women at its heart, this is a team with a rich heritage. They'll be looking to build on last season's performance and compete at the sharp Debuting in 1977, Williams are one of the most famous and well-recognised teams in motorsport. They started out as a very small single-car team in the 70s and made their way to a position of absolute dominance through parts of the 90s. In that time, Williams have had some of the most famous and accomplished drivers of all time in the driver's seat, including Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill, Jenson Button and, of course, the late great Ayrton Senna. Williams have partnered with multiple engine manufacturers over the years, with the most successful by far being Renault in the 1990s, with whom they would win multiple championships. In total, Williams have had a long and very successful history in the sport, with over 100 Formula One race wins to their name. Alfa Romeo F1 team Orlen, operated by Sauber Motorsport, have a long and varied history in racing, competing in various disciplines since the 1970s. But it wasn't until 1993 that they began their Formula One campaign. They've partnered with multiple engine manufacturers throughout their time in the sport, including both Ford and Ferrari. But the best results they achieved were between 2006 and 2009, where they worked with BMW, achieving second place and third place in the Constructors' Championship in 2007 and 2008, respectively. 2018 saw them bring back iconic brand Alfa Romeo to F1 as their title sponsor, a partnership that was extended in 2019. Orlen joined the team as co-title sponsor in 2020. Debuting in 2016, the USA-based Haas team began strongly in the midfield, with Frenchman Romain Grosjean bringing his car across the finish line in 6th place in the team's very first race at the Australian Grand Prix. Ferrari supply the power units and transmission to Haas as part of a technical partnership which has helped the team maintain their cost-effective and sustainable operation.